Hello and welcome to the Bold Black Girls podcast. I'm Aries.
And I am Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Aries.
How are you, dear?
Much better. Much better.
Good.
What about you? It's been a catch up week, I would say.
I still am not caught up. I don't know. I feel kind of like blah. I've been kind of blah this week.
I was a little melancholy as well.
Melancholy.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the pandemic is starting to get to me a little bit. Like this is not normal, people.
Right.
Like what we're really, we're used to pushing forward and kind of, making it work. And
We are approaching a year. It will be a year. I
yeah.
want to say March 13th. I remember because I think I was supposed to go to like lunch
Hmm.
with someone and we ended up I canceled even before it was a pandemic and they're like, why did you cancel? And I was like, well, you know, just let's reschedule it. And then after that, nothing else could happen.
Mm.
Yeah. It
We had a couple of
was
those. Remember when we had who were we supposed to we were supposed to meet up with
Latanya.
Latanya, Latoya,
Yes, Latoya.
Dr. Span,
Span.
Carla, and she would be mad at us for calling her Dr. Span. It was a couple people. I feel like we were already like, we're gonna be on point, we're gonna have our little stuff booked out, and then it was like, no. But I think, still, I think I've done a great job as far as being able to manage, but I also think that, just as a human being, we're not we need we need the interaction. I want to hug,
I
I
know.
want to kiss too.
Oh, kiss me, kiss me.
But not like, I don't know. It's like it's not I'm in a weird space. I think I'm just like, hey.
I think it's definitely taken a toll. Um, it's definitely changed like my personality in terms
In
of
what ways? Elaborate.
like wanting to talk. I just lay in bed and I'm like, I'm not depressed, but I'm just like, uh, you know, I'm already an only child, so I'm already used to operating by myself a lot of times. But I do miss my friends, like us going somewhere or,
Hmm.
"Well, let's go take this quick trip." Because I think we had just come from a year ago. We were in Oklahoma. I want to
That was
say.
like 6 months. Well, that was July.
No, I'm talking about when we went to Transformation.
Oh yeah, we were,
Yeah.
huh? At our little girls'
So
weekend.
yeah. So I haven't taken any road trips. I haven't gone. We haven't gone
No
anywhere.
trip. I think that's it.
You think that's
I
it?
need a vacation.
You need to change the scenery because you've been in the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, I had to cancel multiple trips last year. I was supposed to go to Cuba. Remember, you were in Cuba. I remember Kim was in Cuba, and when she came back, I was like, "You don't got that coronavirus." And you was like, "What
well,
is a coronavirus?"
well, remember I was not feeling well, and
Right.
I
I
was
said you
like, I don't
probably had it.
feel good, and I left work early, which I rarely do. And you were like, "Do you have coronavirus? You got that virus?" I'm like, "Girl, what are you talking about?" It's like I'm about to take some medicine and get into bed, and the world changed
Mhm.
soon thereafter.
So I think, I was talking to some ladies in my life group and another group that I'm in because I do keep in touch with people virtually. Like I feel like my network is still, I still have a good network of folks I'm talking to, but it's something about that face to face interaction, that you need to kind of just, for me, I
Right.
need something. I need something. Like even
Yeah.
with work, like I'm not excited, and it's not my company. It's like I had these hopes of being able to be like out networking and going to lunch and meeting people. I mean, I'm in sales.
Right.
So
So
like
that's
sitting at
total.
homes, this is not what I signed up for,
Right.
so that part is a little like
I do
bleh.
think I'm over it. I'm concerned that when it does open up, like, how will I navigate going back into the world? Will
Mhm.
I jump full feet in, like both feet in, or I'm like
Mhm.
put one baby toe in?
Mhm.
Um,
I'm gonna definitely be baby toeing in because
yeah,
full is looking. People already are full, like right now out here in these streets. Like it's like it's nothing going on. There's like separate worlds happening where people are really like out here living, and I'm like, am I like overly cautious? Am I, it kind of makes you question that a little bit when you see everybody moving and shaking and you're like, am I being like scary?
Right.
Or whatever. But um yeah.
And then we had our own little, I feel like, a Texas pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the cleanup from that, even though like
Yes.
I'll be honest, Monday the weather was so nice, I went for a bike ride.
Mm.
And so I also like, I'm bike riding alone. I'm walking alone.
Yeah.
A lot of aloneness, right?
Yeah. And that's something we're not used to. Like even with the workouts, like we usually have a kind of group of people to work out with and stuff like that. So it's what I am noticing is, and I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I'm really listening to my body like a lot, and I'm noticing everything like about how I'm reacting to things, how I feel. I don't have energy, or I have, this, or like I'm really listening to my body and how I feel and just kind of like obeying, obeying it. Like I'm not trying to fight what I'm feeling, It's like I'm just like riding the wave and
I would definitely say since we know that spring is upon us, that we'll just have to be a little creative this time.
Mm-hmm.
Picnics.
Listen, I'm about to go somewhere.
I was thinking that too.
I can't do
I have
it.
colleagues that are what they're doing is for a month.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to rent out an Airbnb somewhere totally different.
I know somebody who did that. My homegirls.
Yeah.
3 of my homegirls did it.
And I'm talking about like work from there.
It was 3 of them, and they just decided because their jobs were remote, they just went and then they worked there for a month. They don't have no kids and none of that, so it was like, I mean, I would still do it because my kids are homeschooled.
That's true. That's true. So I was like, wow, that's not a bad idea. Like, someone from the Bay that I work with, where I work, she said she came to Austin for a month, her and her girlfriend. And I'm like, wow, not saying that that's going to be the total new norm, but people are really getting creative. And I was like, that's really not a bad idea. Like,
we need to think about this.
I know.
Like
as we're talking about this,
my mind is
because I think that I was used to going somewhere at least once a quarter, be it professionally or personally.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get a break from the norm. And
right now I'm just like, yeah. So I'm with you. Let's think about that. We might need to plan something that could get me excited. That'll get me an anticipation. Yeah, give me some.
Because happy women live better.
Exactly. So
yeah,
that's even
if it would be like even if it was like, hey, let's do it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Listen, I'm down.
Somewhere where you like, I'm near water.
I gotta go. I was looking up vacation stuff this week because I was like, I just feel like I need to get away.
Oh, I definitely know that's one of the things. My mom got the vaccine.
Oh, did she? My mom gets hers on the 11th, I think. Okay. My dad got his.
Good.
Everybody got it but me.
Me too.
The boys.
Still looking. The boys?
They're not the boys. They can't get it. You can't get it at that age. But their grandparents got it and their dad got it. I was like, how you get it? But their aunt is a doctor.
Okay.
And so she got it. She was one of the first ones that got it. Wow. So I was like, that's cool. So yeah, I'm just like waiting my turn.
Patiently trying to get on a list.
Yep. And it is not easy. Try to get on one. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. I did go to a couple of little online virtual events this week. I went to the Black Enterprise Diversity Inclusion. I think it's called Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Summit.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good.
It was
really good. Yeah.
I feel like I signed up, but I feel like
it was on Thursday, and they had about 3 or 4 panels, and very educational, a lot of insight. I mean, I like that kind of stuff. I do that for fun. Right. Like sometimes it's funny because I'm going to be our company. We're doing some things with creating a board, and I'm going to be a part of that. And so for our
Yes.
diversity stuff and just, getting better. And I do that for fun. Like that's literally just something that it's not like something that people might be like, you're just so knowledgeable in this. And I'm like, yeah, because I literally read the books and read the articles and
Right.
go to the summits, and stuff like that because I care about this,
Because it's passionate. It's
Yeah.
passion for you, right?
And I'm doing all the things that anybody else could do. It's like when we think about this, it's not because I'm a Black woman that I have this information. I go seek it out. I attend these different things because when I see it come across my feed or across wherever, I'm like, oh, let me register. I want to learn more,
Right.
just to kind of learn. And if other people who are not Black would do the same, then it would be a lot less work for your Black colleagues and people that are going to have to I don't know. I feel like people make it seem like it's
harder than what it really is.
like
It's like if
because you're Black, like more about this than me. And it's like I don't know. Like I'm educating myself just like anybody else can. It's no resources that I'm getting that are like secret Black resources. They're like
they're all out there.
available to you. So yeah, so I did that. Then I went to Sisters in Sales. They had an event. They had they did an event with Experian, the credit people.
Yeah.
So it was called Take the Lead, and they talked about like getting into leadership roles and ways to really like leverage and do what do you call it? Kind of like cross-functional, other things to really build up your skill set so that you could get promoted and just things like that. They talked about because they're hiring. So it was kind of like an event that was sponsored by them to, talk about the roles that they have and things like that. But I was really listening for like the ladies who made moves, within their career. So that was like that was a panel that I was most interested in. The networking piece and building relationships and taking on certain types of projects. So that was really educational. So that's the kind of stuff I like to do. I wish it was in person. I would love to be at somebody's conference right now.
I know because remember last year, this time, literally, well, it will be next month when this releases. We signed up to go to Afrotech.
Mm-hmm.
Little did we know we were getting in on the early registration, trying to save money.
Finally, we were like, finally, we got our act together. We gonna book it early,
yes,
and we'll be there. And then we like, really?
And so much can happen, literally, in a year. I remember I was going through my pictures. This is something that I kind of do. Is like I'll look back at the year prior to, like, okay, what was I looking like? Did I look like I was drinking enough water? Did I look like I was working out? Like, what was my state of mind? And I remember going to a networking event and it says, what will you have wished you had done a year from today? That was a conversation card. And I was like, whoa, that's powerful. And that hit me in the gut because at that time I was thinking, I want to transition to a different career, different industry, just totally different, right? I was ready for that change. And I was like, you know what? I am going to be the change I want to see. And I remember being more intentional about looking for a job outside. And when that popped up in your iPhone feed like a year ago, I'm like, whoa, little did I know a year from that year last year where I will be today.
Can you believe a year? I mean, like time is gone, y'all. It is over. It is over. It was funny because I was like, the year is gonna go by regardless. So what do you want to do so that next year you're not going, oh, I'll do it next year. There's people who were not here that were here last year. You know what I mean? So
over 500,000.
Yes. And so we just gotta be intentional about whatever it is. I just signed up to have my whole situation revamped. So I'm getting a new resume. I'm getting a bio created and my LinkedIn updated. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait until like I'm trying to do something, like I want to, this is something I want to just become a part of my life where I don't even like looking at my resume. I'm not even applying for no jobs right now, but I'm like, I just want to be ready at all times. I mean, it could be some internal roles that I want to, apply for.
Consultant,
it could be anything. and somebody just might be like, let me see your resume. And it's like, wait, hold on, let me go. No,
Yes.
I don't want to be, I just want to stay on it.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
And I can continue to update it as I have accomplishments and things like that. And then that'll be something I just continuously have. I want to, like you said, stay ready so I don't got to get
I
ready.
love it because I'll tell you, before I even started applying for new jobs, a year from that date, I had hired someone to update my resume as well. And so I think that sometimes we don't think about that, investing in ourselves in that way. Like, hey, I'm going to set aside this fund. This is a professional development, whatever I want to use it for, be it updating resume and or going to a conference.
Yes.
We really need to start thinking that way instead of like, oh, I'm going to go get these pair of shoes. Well, okay, no, that resume might get you that return so that you can easily go get that. So you can update your salary.
Come on, somebody.
Okay.
And you know what? I wanted someone to have fresh eyes and look at my stuff. And you might see some stuff that I didn't see,
that I missed.
Yeah, like I want to hear, because it's funny. I'm talking to the lady and she, how did I meet her? I can't remember.
I was going to say, how did you meet her?
I want to say Clubhouse, but I don't think it was Clubhouse. It was something, I feel like something with Minda Hearts or something. I can't remember exactly. She said it when we talked too. Like, that's how we started talking. I forgot though. My brain, girl. I feel like I can't remember hardly anything anymore. But anyways, she was like, I mean, you have a lot. Like, it's interesting having somebody talk to you about what they see about you,
Right.
like what they're seeing that you're doing and all this. And I'll be like, hey, maybe I am kind of doing some stuff, like I'll be downplaying my stuff all the time. And so I'm like, I'm gonna stop doing that. I need to actually like give myself some props, for some of the things that I got going on. Because she was like, I mean, like this, and I'm like, that do sound good.
Exactly.
Like, as she started, I'm like, that does sound good.
An external person to say, hey, you really have a lot going on. Do you realize how awesome you really are?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So like, I remember I had you all, I had sent a note to my friends because in my voiceover coaching, it was my last session yesterday with my coach. And I had to send something to 5 people, friends and family, asking them like these 3 questions about like what's unique about me, what are characteristics that make me stand out, and something. And because it really is about the acting side of it, right? Like where you can, what are the themes that you hear that everybody is saying? And it really helps you see, like, are you really walking in your authenticity with everyone? Like if everybody's kind of saying the same thing, then you're giving that everywhere you go.
You're being consistent too.
Which made me feel good because everybody was pretty much kind of on the same theme, about who I'm like, look at me. I'm walking in my truth out here.
I love it.
And that was cool because you have to kind of, the whole point is kind of where you can start, not be typecast, but knowing what roles are strong for you. Like if there's a role for a mom who's very, bold and courageous, like I'm gonna kill that, because
or if it's Black Girls Code, just like I'm passionate about that.
That's one of my demos actually that I'm gonna be recording.
Okay, I love it.
And I pick things that I actually do and use, and like all my demos have something that is connected to me personally. Like every one that I'm gonna read, all my commercials and narrations, they're all based on things that are real in my life. So that is going to be, I'm excited for that.
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So yeah, so those kind of exercises, you might could do that on your own. There's times where my friends have sent me stuff like that. They just wanted to kind of self-evaluate. What am I giving off? What am I putting out there? So yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I think I've said this on the podcast before. It's like we have PDRs where we have check-ins, performance reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We might need like personal reviews, like, hey, am I being a good friend? Am I being a good mother? What can I do to be a better mother? And it could just be like, hey, three questions. You learn a lot from feedback.
I ask my kids.
I do too.
I was like, give me a grade.
Well, I don't think I asked for a grade.
I asked for a grade.
I like that. I like that though.
And sometimes they just be being jerks. Because they know what I'm trying to get to, like what I really want. And then they'll be like, might say something just to, not give me 100% or whatever.
Yes.
And I'd be like, that's fine. I mean, I have room for improvement. They'd be like, no, 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 for real, you're this. They'll tell me, but
Okay.
whatever. But we had a lot. I mean, this week I was actually looking on LinkedIn. And some people been out here making moves. I couldn't even like document all the stuff I saw this week. Like it was so
Yes.
many things. And I was like, let's go. We're out here. We're doing things in the world. And today, well, not today, but this month is what is it?
International Women's Month.
Women's Month. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not really big on the women's thing. Like I probably wouldn't call myself a feminist. And not like in offense of people who call themselves feminists. It's like weird because I feel like I really do. If there was like levels, like I understand the intersectionality of being Black and being a woman, but my Blackness is way more prominent to me than the woman part. Like that would take the second seat for me. If there was a conversation about like what it is. So for instance, we were having to talk about like what is diversity. 9 times out of 10 is going to be Black, Latinx, and women.
Native American. Yeah.
Latinx, and now they'll say like indigenous, or whatever, right? And women, right? That gets put in there. And I find myself sometimes being like, well, we're gonna what's the priority, because you could have both. You can have Black and Latinx women, right? And there you go. You got double percentages, right? So I don't know. And I've been trying to ask myself these questions because I know there's some women that are super like pro women, and it's not that I'm not. My energy goes so much to the Blackness that I feel like
probably because that's where we feel the most mistreatment, discrimination is being Black.
Yeah.
Not woman, but being Black.
You see this. Okay. So if y'all watching us on YouTube, I have on my Kim didn't even recognize it.
I sure didn't.
The shirt I have on is the We Got Y'all. Remember with Issa Rae on Insecure, she worked at the nonprofit called We Got Y'all, where they go into inner city schools and like teach the kids or help them or whatever with their school work and whatever. But it was owned by this white lady who the logo, this is the logo. The shirt that I have on is the logo. And it was always like this funny inside joke, because it's like the white hand holding the Black kids.
We got y'all.
We got y'all. It's us. We're the saving hands, whatever. So it's just like really funny joke. But, so that's when I think about this stuff, I just be like, that Blackness though, it's both important, they're both important, but it is International Women's Month. And do we want to talk about like what is International Women's Month? Like where did that come from?
That's actually very good. Let's see.
Like what made it?
They have International Women's Day, which is March 8th.
Okay.
And so let me pull up.
So is it a day or is it the month?
So I want to say both.
I feel like it's a month and a day. Yeah.
They said March is Women's History Month.
Women's History
Month. Yeah.
That's it.
Commemorating and encouraging the study, observance, and celebration of the vital role of women in American history.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
We're talking about Black women. But no, I mean, women, I was actually watching something they were doing kind of a tribute to this, and they were saying how, in the reality of it, women were not supposed, just like how, Black folks, we were not supposed to be considered in a lot of the stuff that was created for people out here in the United States. So when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, they wouldn't think about us, so it really didn't apply. Same thing when it comes to women's rights, like there was no right to vote. What you talking about? You don't even need to be up in this conversation talking about politics, and this and business and all that. So women walking into the workplace and all that, men were looking around like, you don't belong here, So, I mean, I do definitely, relate there because I'm like, first of all, you're not better than me. So yeah.
And they said, did you know Women's History Month actually started off as Women's History Week? So similar to like Black History,
right? Exactly.
It started off as just a week and then quickly evolved into a month.
From Santa Rosa, California. I can see that being a California thing.
I could definitely see that.
So that's cool. Well, in the spirit of that, there were some black girls that black women that were out here doing big things this week that we could talk about. I
And
think to honor
highlight.
them for the kickoff
Yes.
Women's History Month, even though it was this week and last week. It was a couple weeks. Some of the stuff wasn't exactly this week, but some of it was just like
It's
different stuff,
recent though,
some recent
and
stuff.
it's good that
Making
this
history.
making history, black women making history.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have the Chandra Brown Duckett, right?
The Sunda. The Sunda.
The Sunda, the Sunda.
The Sunda. Yeah.
And she was previously at Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's headed over as a new CEO of TIAA.
She will become the second Black female CEO currently in the Fortune 500. The first one was Ursula Burns, who was for Xerox. But, the Sunda was she was a CEO at Chase, but you know how they'll have CEO of different divisions?
Yes.
She wasn't the overall CEO of the whole company, but this is big, a super big step.
She's from Texas.
Right.
So shout out to her. And what I love to see, and we've talked about this on the podcast, is back in the day how we used to stay at one job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad we're seeing examples of this, and we have things like LinkedIn and social media to see that no, sometimes you will need to pivot,
make moves.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotta make some moves,
make bold moves.
I love it.
I do too.
I'm here for it. And what I love, because I'm like, wow, I would love to have a conversation with her because of what kind of preparation did you have to have as you moved up into your, through your career? What were some strategic things that she did to prepare herself for this type of role, her previous role as well as this one? Just all those little ins and outs that we don't ever know. You just see oh, you got this person moved over here. You're like, but what did you do to do that?
Yes. How did you do it?
Yeah, that's the stuff.
What was your strategy in doing that?
Yes. Then there was Laisha Ward, who is over at Target, who I didn't even know she had been there for 30. She's been there for 30 years since 1991. I'm like, dang. But she's been doing a lot of other things outside of Target as well. So she was just named on the board of directors for United Airlines. I was like,
and here's an example of someone who has been with the company though, right? So everyone has their own journey. She still made bold moves within her company.
It's not all about the company.
It's really company, not.
Right? So she is currently the executive vice president and chief external engagement officer at Target. So when you've been seeing a lot of their diversity and inclusion stuff, I've been seeing her posting a lot of that stuff and being a part of the articles and doing a lot of outside stuff, representing Target. But she is coming in to help them actually with some D&I type of stuff at United Airlines, which I thought was pretty interesting.
I think that's very interesting to even make sure that your board has representation as well, because that's going to help your business grow. And I was actually on, I want to say, a webinar listening to stocks, and they were saying how stocks with diverse boards actually do much better.
And the NASDAQ, I think it's NASDAQ, they have a requirement. They're not going to let you be on there represented on the stock exchange if you don't have a diverse board of directors. That just came out in the last probably 6 months or so.
Wow.
So these companies got to make some moves out here, because she's also on the board of Denny's, the restaurant.
I saw her when I went to the conference, Texas Women's Conference. So, kind of goes back to, I do miss conferences, and I was about to amp it up. I was about to get with it in 2020.
Man, I was too. And it's funny
because plans.
Man, so many. I was like, oh well. But these are paid positions. Once you start getting on these corporate boards, it ain't like you just doing, how I am. I'm vice president of ATW. This is a volunteer.
But you never know. That's probably how they started.
Look, this is a volunteer position. But when you get on these corporate boards, that's when the big books start rolling. No, slam. But that's what this kind of experience is, what gives you that experience to move into other boards. Like I've been really studying the Robert's Rule of Order, like different parliamentary procedure and all these things, because as you move around, that's exactly like how they're having meetings efficiently. Like all these things, there are things that happen in a board that, you know, if you are really good at that, like it'll make you even more successful. So these are things that I'm like, hey, I'm learning some new stuff. Let me start, you know, who knows what board I'll be on next.
You never know what that
I want to
opens
be
up.
ready for that. So yeah, so that was another power move that was made this week. Who else?
We also have Donald Glover. He signed a long-term Amazon deal. What is the name of his
Atlanta.
Atlanta, yes. And so former first daughter Malia Obama will be joining the writing team, which I think is awesome and amazing. Right. And her mom is doing big things.
Her mom is doing, she has a new cooking show on Netflix for kids.
I just love her.
I was like, see, first of all, I feel like they're the first family that like really are, they're out here doing non-political stuff.
Yes.
Right? Like they are making business moves. She did her book, then let that breathe. She did her podcast on Spotify. And then she let Barack go ahead and do his.
She had her Netflix special as well.
She had her documentary. She had her, you know, things like that. And then Barack did his book, President Barack Obama, because you know that's our uncle. So like that's Barack. You can't call him that, okay? But anyway, so no, he got his book, and now he got his own podcast. Did you hear about that?
I believe I did see it somewhere. I think I saw it on a Spotify commercial.
He has a new podcast, and it's funny because he had a little bit of buzz going on this week because he made a comment about how he punched somebody in the face when he was younger because they call him a coon, and everybody was like, he lying. They're like, he ain't punched nobody in no face. And like, who said coon, you know? So it's just funny because I've been listening to so many different places they've been talking about it. I'm like, why y'all think he lied? But people think he's like, no, because this would have came up before. They would have brought this up saying that he was, they would have, whoever the person was who got hit in the face would have popped up at some point, you know, during the elections and stuff, and say he violent or something like that. But anyway, but I'm proud of Malia because I'm like, look at you. Now you're not relying on
she's making a name for herself.
You're saying I'm gonna leverage what I got with my parents to, and my education and my, you know, all the things,
my resources,
and do my thing. Like start putting your stamp on what you got going on. So I love that. I think that's really cool. And then we had
Naomi
Osaka. You know, she won the French Open going against Serena Williams. And it's funny because people are really trying to like make it like, because Serena is passionate. She's always going to be emotional or whatever it is, but they have always had a good relationship. And really, she's been a mentor to her, you know? So it's like, no.
And I think it's like almost if you're a 20-year age difference.
It's y'all. This is how it's supposed to be. Exactly. She grew up watching this woman. She has studied Serena her whole life. You know what I mean? So like, that's what's supposed to happen. But anyway, so she announced like right at that time when she won that she is now the owner of the North Carolina Courage soccer team, which apparently is like a really good soccer team, which I'm like, make moves. Okay. Like I'm loving this. So that was exciting to read about. I thought that was really good because people are not just like we just said with the job. Even if you're doing one thing, you're noticing a lot more athletes and other things that are investing in venture capitalists into tech or into, you know, other small businesses and doing other things, not just that one thing.
Right.
You know, having some variety in your life. So,
and not being afraid to, it kind of goes back to what I talked about earlier, that networking event. What will you wish you have been? Where do you wish you would be a year from now?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like sometimes you have to start at the end and work your way back.
You got to have multiple.
Here's my vision. Yeah, here's my vision. What do I need to do in order to make that bold move?
Yep. Yes. So I love when people have multiple streams of not even just income, just interest.
Yes.
Like you're not
Passions.
one track. Nobody's a one track person. I mean, I would like to sometimes just be like, can you sit down, Aries? Like for 5 seconds. Like I'm always doing something. Like I got the women in tech thing, blah blah
Madam
girls
VP of
work.
DFW, ATW.
That's probably why my butt tired. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me
You
sit
know,
down.
and I just decided that this while on this pandemic, that I was gonna just rest. Sometimes you gotta rest in it. Where did I go? No, when I went to the hotel, right?
Mhm.
Remember, I was so sore, I was not feeling good. I'm like, why am I so tired? I was like, there was much more movement than my body is used to. So I'm like, what is it gonna be like when we really get back out here?
Mhm.
That is gonna be an adjustment.
Well, and you will adjust. You know, I think it's like
Right.
you adjust. I'm looking forward to. I feel like
I
actually
don't know.
getting
I
out.
don't want to be busy.
I'm not gonna be busy, but
I
I'm
don't want to
gonna
be a busybody.
I'm definitely going to be out.
I'm unsubscribing from the busybody.
Yeah.
And I'm also unsubscribing from like being out and wasting money. So
Oh, I'm not wasting.
yeah.
That's not. We don't do
So
that.
if it requires a lot of money,
I don't do that.
Yeah.
If I'm spending money, I'm on a vacation.
Right.
Otherwise, I mean, and just being honest, when I'm out here in tech, I don't spend money. I'm just saying. That's that good old Southern hospitality.
Sips tea.
That good old Southern hospitality. Not really. I mean, at one point I was, and I was like, "What are you doing? You don't have to do this."
Right.
But no.
We forgot to mention one other.
Oh, who? What did we miss?
Tracee Ellis Ross.
Tracee Ellis, which I thought was pretty interesting because Ulta, she started her hair care line about a year ago or maybe 2 years ago, which it didn't work for my hair. I think it's for certain types of hair. I did support her on day one, by purchasing the product. But you know how we are with the natural hair, you'll have everybody named mama product and
it may not
don't use it.
Yep.
So it got to work for your hair. For me, it didn't really.
I remember when you ordered it actually.
Because I'm a support.
Right.
I'm gonna at least give you one order. And
well, I just wish that what I do is I look for like the little travel kit. Because the travel kit will give you that little.
I think that's what that's all I could get because they had ran out of certain stuff. So I was like, well, I want to try, the shampoo, conditioner, all that. And that was the only thing. It was a nice size though. Like I still would probably take it with me if I had to go somewhere and I needed to have something, which that's a whole nother topic of like another way that like, things they're standardized not for Black women. Like when we go to a hotel, it's not our products.
It is
for our hair in there. It's shampoo, conditioner. Like what Black person do you know that only uses shampoo and conditioner?
We need some shea butter.
We need some moisturizer.
Oil,
we need some edge control. Some gel. Something like you don't have none of that. It's not catered. It's not created for us. The standard, we're not the standard. So that's a whole nother conversation. But she is joining Ulta Beauty as a diversity and inclusion advisor because Ulta has committed to doubling the number of Black-owned beauty brands it sells in 2021. So I was like, wow, come on and double it.
And I went into Target Ulta. I went into Ulta recently and I noticed the increase.
You did?
I did.
I haven't been to Ulta in a while.
You haven't been a lot of places.
I ain't been nowhere. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, you might need to just start easing your way out. I am double masking up if I go out.
Yes, I double mask.
So double mask up and just go get you. You might be lacking some vitamin D.
I definitely.
And we definitely know that has an impact with types on African American Black people.
Vitamin.
We need the vitamin D. So yeah,
I did go sit out in the backyard a couple times this week because the sun was out, earlier this week. And man, when I tell you I have all the birds, like all the different types. I have seen blue jays this week. I have robins. I get canaries. I have so many types of birds but I haven't had canary right now. I think this is not their time yet. But I'm like, I got a
Spring
little
is upon us.
yeah. So it's actually really good. So yeah, no, I was thinking about like me and the boys just like doing something, going for a weekend or something, or a couple days during the week somewhere, drive, type of thing. So I don't know. I got to do some research, but I definitely know that I got to go. Like
Yeah.
I need to go.
I feel like I need to be in a different environment.
Hmm.
I do. Just even if it doesn't have to be 2 weeks, it could be a good 3 to 5 days or 3 to
Hmm.
7.
Yeah.
So,
With some variety,
yeah.
just variety. So we had, and there is in the movie front,
Oh.
Andra Day, the singer.
Yeah.
She is in a movie that came out on Friday, which I'm gonna put it on while me and my mom are taking these braids down today. It's her first movie, and she is playing Billie Holiday.
Oh, yes, it's on Hulu, right?
On Hulu. Go check that out. It's gotten rave reviews. And she literally was method acting. She became her, and she talked about it on another podcast that I listened to, and was like how she had to stop taking care of her voice to get it to be authentic, go through a voice coach to like get her voice to sound like hers, and all these different things. She started smoking cigarettes.
What?
To actually channel her. She's like, I don't smoke or drink. So like she was drinking and smoking like the time that she was filming this. And she said how when I would smoke cigarettes, I would feel like her. Like that's how I would connect with the character because she smoked,
Wow.
And then she said, but she quit, she quit afterward and stuff like that. So I was
Okay,
like, I was like, you
She
committed.
really channeled that.
So I'm looking forward to actually watching it and seeing how it was. I heard good things. And then today is the 3rd. So Friday, Coming to America 2 is coming out. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that and supporting that movie. They got a deal from Amazon. They said they sold that to Amazon for like 125 million or something like that. I was like, Eddie, get your coins. You better.
He needs them. He needs them.
He's gonna need them coins. I was like, man, I didn't know
For
that
all
man.
his kids.
I did not know he had that many kids.
I didn't either.
I didn't know he'd had that many baby mamas either. I was like, oh, Eddie, yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave you alone. We won't talk down on the black man, but
he needed those coins for his family.
He's getting them.
Good.
So anywho, that's some entertainment news. Did you ever watch Judas and the Black Messiah?
I did.
What did you think?
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well.
What I thought about, and I was talking to my friend about this. We're both from Chicago. Shame on history. We're living in the city about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We weren't really educated on.
They're not gonna educate you on that.
That's
Hoover,
true.
That's
true.
That is the name of the game. That's what he did. He tore down multiple leaders that we had during that time. The FBI, like that is straight undercover type, stuff that you're not gonna just like know. Yeah. Same thing with this story that she's portraying of Billie Holiday. Hoover is involved in this movie as well, with the pumping of the drugs into the community and all these things. Like all that stuff is real, and I think people make it like it's just something that people are saying. This is real,
this is real.
So that's why I'm really interested in watching it, because it does tell another story. I watched Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross playing Billie Holiday. That's like as much as I really knew about her, back in the day.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to hearing other parts, because she was actually a part of like the movement, apparently. So I was like, I didn't know none of that. But these are things that you go seek out to learn. I don't know. The blackness don't make us know.
And hence,
you don't just know.
Exactly. And as we
you gotta go see it.
Today is the last day of Black History Month, but it's not the last day of us.
Oh yeah, we don't. We're both Black Girls Podcast. Yeah, I mean that's what we do. We talk blackity black all the time. But I say that because I want our listeners who are not Black to really take that in, because sometimes people will look to you as an expert in Blackness, and it's like I'm learning just like y'all. But it's a Google away. It is really a Google away. Seriously, that's how I find things. When I want to know something, I just go look it up. I'm reading some James Baldwin right now, And when I tell you
He
that
was
what I read Fire Next Time. I'm reading No Name in the Street right now, and it has been an experience listening to this man. I mean, like really seeing how he thought, and he was. We talk about being woke. Like
he was
he was
very
aware, of what was going on and the different moves and different. It was just so much, and I'm like, wow, I'm learning so much about him. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of his stuff as well. But and it's been like really easy reads because just
is a really
it's like he's just
quick.
really telling
Yeah.
stories, and so.
And so I'm actually looking forward to once the pandemic is over with, like traveling to like the museums, all across the US. Like I want to go back to the Black History Museum, the Smithsonian.
I'm
I
gonna
want
take the boys.
yeah, I want to go back to Tennessee, Memphis.
Memphis. That's where my family is.
Yes.
When you ready to go, let me know because they've been trying to get me to come out there. We're supposed to have a family reunion next year. We were supposed to have it in 2020,
Wow.
and so they were postponing it. But yeah, I'm like, I gotta take the boys out there because
And
all
kind of
my dad's family is
you
there.
should. And because this week, I have a very rare last name. So in the org, I was typing in my last name because I was going to do something to my profile. I saw another Tim's, and she was Black, and she was from Chicago.
Mm. Who was Daddy Tim? Daddy
No.
Tim's?
So I scheduled a meeting with her. I intentionally reached out to her.
Mhm.
And I feel like our generation, we don't have family reunions, so we don't know each other anymore.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, that's just the norm now. So we were trying to figure out, are we cousins?
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, I don't see that last name a lot. So we're probably
23andMe, girl. You better get out there.
Yeah, I know.
But like for me and my dad, like on my dad's side, all of the cousins that I know, we met on Facebook.
Wow.
Because I was my grandmother, all her they're all gone. There's none of them
See?
left, right? So then there's my dad's generation, and then their kids, that level where I'm at, we all connected through Facebook. We have a little family Facebook group, and then we just really started building relationship through Facebook, and keeping
Wow.
up with each other. So now we're like, oh yeah, like it's almost like if I go out there, I'm gonna feel like I know everybody already, But these
Right.
are people that we have to do it because otherwise you're gonna lose all of that,
Yeah.
that family connection. And we can't do that. We gotta try to hold on as much as we can, to what family and have. Hold on to
Yes.
them cousins, y'all.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the end. I do want to ask and remind you all to please, even if you're only listening to us on the podcast side, please go over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page. We're trying to set a goal to get 1,000 subscribers. And we're not big on content creating. We literally post this podcast every week and that's it. So only y'all know that there is a YouTube page. So we're just telling y'all so we can just get those subscribers up. And also, don't forget, leave a review. If you want to write one, that'd be amazing. But please rate us. That also helps us as well. And is there a call to action or anything we're going to leave people with
I would say
today?
there is. So we've had a vision board specialist on the podcast. We've had affirmations. I think it's time to start writing out what is the bold move that you're going to make. Take all of that in. I'm going to do that exercise myself and create your vision.
Write the vision and make it plain.
Yes.
That's why I paid that lady to do my stuff because I'm like, you know what? It's time to really just start asking myself the hard questions. Kind of like, where are you? Like I had to do my appraisal this year, right? My performance appraisal for work. And that was a part of it. Kind of like, what are your top 3 career goals? And I had to sit and think about that. Like, what really are your career goals? Like, what do you want to do?
Right.
What are you doing?
What do you want to do and how are you going to be successful?
Exactly. So these are just things we should be asking and not waiting until
it approaches a time.
You got to put that out there.
Yeah, you really do.
And you got to create it. It's not coming to you. It's not going to be just, let me see. Let me dig in here and find Kim. It's like, no, Kim is out here being intentional, making certain moves to position herself to get what she put on that. Like that's just how it works. So, all right, y'all. What you got? What else?
Well, you just said it. Be intentional and be prepared.
Okay. Be prepared. We love y'all. We appreciate you every week chilling with us. Today we were real low key, just kind of
going with the flow.
Chilling. We'll be bringing some more guests onto the pod. I got us a new guest. I told Kim, I said, "Ooh, this is gonna be a good one." This is gonna be a good one. I'm not sure when we're gonna put her on yet, but got a couple surprises and things that we're gonna bring to the table. But yeah, don't forget to check us out on boldblackgirls.com and also send us an email if you want to. You got suggestions of different people that you would like to hear. We would love to do that. I might put a survey out to our people who are on our mailing list and just kind of think of, hear what you all want to hear.
Yeah,
What
I
kind of
like that.
topics? Because we're our own customer, basically. It's like we're learning just like everybody else,
exactly.
so we just share what we're learning with everybody. So we love y'all. We thank you and have a bold
Bold week.
week. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.